Squad, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy. The game comes out here very soon and it is time to finally go over everything we learned from the beta and the recent blog posts and updates that Sledgehammer Games has given us and talk about everything you need to know before playing Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy. Before we get too deep into the information, I want to quickly say that I will be live streaming the game on midnight release. As soon as it comes out for the United States, I will be live on Twitch streaming S&D with fellow creators you might have heard of, leveling up everything and trying as much stuff as we possibly can. So come hang out. I'd love to see you guys over there. It's twitch.tv/DylanSeek. All right, let's get into it. Between the Modern Warfare 3 beta and the recent blog post Sledgehammer Games has dropped, we have a lot of info about the game, enough so that we pretty much have class setups already figured out for Search and Destroy. So let me just break down everything changed with the mode, because there's always little things that are changed, as well as possible setups and weapons you want to look forward to using when the game actually releases, so that you kind of know where to go as you start leveling and you start using your tokens to unlock things, which I will get to in a second. First things first, Dead Silence is back as a perk and a field upgrade. For those of you that prefer field upgrade Dead Silence like myself, field upgrade Dead Silence is a thing. I will warn you though, Dead Silence as a perk is most likely going to be the move in Modern Warfare 3. I'd be very surprised if we were using field upgrade over it, so don't be too hyped about the field upgrade Dead Silence. Dead Silence as a perk in the form of covert sneakers is most likely going to be a must-have on every single class you use. Taking things back to the new leveling system, which brings me to how to unlock Dead Silence as quickly as humanly possible. There's a new level system they recently announced that basically the gist of it is if you hit level 25 in the game, you get access to a challenge system. And by completing a challenge within this challenge system, you will unlock a token. And you can use that token to unlock anything in the game, similar to how back in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 and older Call of Duties, when you prestiged, you get a prestige token and you could use that to unlock anything you don't have unlocked yet. Same sort of idea. You hit level 25, you get access to these challenges, you complete a challenge, you get a token, use that token to unlock something you do not have unlocked yet in the game. Dead Silence should be #1 on your list if you're a Search and Destroy player. If we do not unlock Dead Silence early on, if we do not unlock it by level 25, I know for a fact that is what I'm using my token on, and you should use it on yours too. Moving on to the basics of Search and Destroy, comparing it to Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 is pretty close. There is a few changes that happen, some of which I like, some of which I don't. First things first, you swap sides every 2 rounds with a 6 rounds to win. It's still 6 rounds to win like it has been the last few years, but swapping sides every 2 rounds is a new thing. I don't believe we've ever had that in a Call of Duty before. Personally, I think we should just swap side every round, makes it the most balanced, but instead of having 2 rounds instead of 3 like it is in Modern Warfare 2, a little bit different, but not really an issue. You get used to it pretty quick if you played the beta. Next thing, we have the plant and defuse time. Sledgehammer Games is known for making their plant and defuse time 5-second plant, 7.5-second defuse in public match. But in the beta, it was 5-second plant with a 5-second defuse, and you could still partial plant defuse just like Modern Warfare 2, so that was not changed at all. Another question that I'm gonna get asked: can you sound whore the bomb? If someone goes and diffuses the bomb and you're not looking at it, will you be able to hear the bomb? Yes, in the beta we could hear the bomb if somebody was diffusing. I will say though, it was pretty quiet. I'd say a little quieter than Modern Warfare 2's. If you're like in a whole other building in a completely other area, you probably won't be able to hear the bomb. It's really more so if you're kind of close to it, someone tries to ninja diffuse you. Finally, a change that has been kind of overlooked but is actually very important for Search and Destroy. There is no deaths on the scoreboard, at least there wasn't in the Modern Warfare 2 beta. Sledgehammer's last game, Call of Duty Vanguard, had no deaths on the scoreboard as well, but then they updated the game, added deaths on the scoreboard, and then later on the line updated it again and took the deaths away. So whether or not we have deaths on the scoreboard at launch is kind of up in the air, but if there isn't, and it's like the beta, that is a change I hope they consider making, because deaths on the scoreboard is needed so you can keep an eye on how your enemies are doing and who has streaks and who doesn't. Having no deaths makes it very hard to determine that. As far as the lethal and tactical side of things goes, there's 2 tacticals that may have very important changes in Search and Destroy that are definitely both good changes in my opinion. First things first, you can now dodge flashes in Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy. But what do I mean by that? I mean that you can look away from a flash. If someone throws a flash grenade at you, you see the flash grenade, look away, get the flash off your screen. As long as it is not on your monitor, you will not be flashed, just like in Valorant or Counter-Strike. You can dodge flashes now in Call of Duty, which was a weird thing. I had to get used to it in the beta. I wasn't used to having to think about that in Call of Duty, but once you get used to it in the beta, it was really, really, really nice to see a flash, look away, and then challenge the guy because they are not prepared for you to not be flashed. Very helpful thing to get used to. Be sure to be thinking about it at launch. Another thing that's actually a return of the legendary thing that we loved doing in Modern Warfare 19. Stim rushing is back in Modern Warfare 2. Unfortunately, there's no gameplay of this because we weren't allowed to use stims in the beta, but under the info for stims in the recent blog post, they said that stim refreshes tac sprint just like it did in Modern Warfare 19, meaning your tac sprint, if you time it correctly when you pop your stim, you can double your tac sprint duration, so you can rush without having to lose your tac sprint at all, which was a key part of Modern Warfare 19 and what made it so fun to rush and move on that game. Speaking of rushing, I've been getting a lot of comments asking if the Rush Route series will return for Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy, despite the maps being OG MW2 maps. Yes, those OG MW2 maps, most people need a refresher on them. It's been over a decade, and some people haven't even played the maps before, so yes, I am going to be making rush routes for every single map in the game for Search and Destroy, so be on the lookout for those. The first video should go out on launch. Moving on to the loadout side of things, Sledgehammer recently released a blog post showcasing all the perks, gear, weapons, and field upgrades in Modern Warfare 3. I'll link that blog post in the description. Check it out for yourself. But I wrote down all the things I noticed from the blog post that I think might be good for Search and Destroy. Starting with field upgrades, obviously Dead Silence is an option, but most likely we're going to be running Covert Sneakers. And if we are running Covert Sneakers, that means we can run a different field upgrade for the first time in like 3 years. Field upgrades, portable radar, tactical camera, trophy system, and anti-armor rounds. Those are the 4 that are most likely going to be usable in Search and Destroy that are going to be good to use. In MW19, a lot of us ran anti-armor rounds with snapshots to wallbang people. Trophy systems can be very helpful in certain scenarios. Tactical cameras, as we all saw in MW2, are kind of nasty. And then we have the portable radar back from Modern Warfare 3, which I think is probably the best one on that list, since we can throw that portable radar on the ground anywhere, use it to cover the bomb, use it to cover an area, use it to cover a house you're in, etc. Those portable radars were very good back in the day on Modern Warfare 3, and I think they could be very good again on this game. Moving on to weapons, first things first, the information I'm about to share with you is either going to really piss you off or really make you happy, depending on if you've heard this news yet. No more weapon tuning. Sledgehammer heard the feedback from the beta. Most people were saying take out weapon tuning. We don't want weapon tuning. We enjoyed not having it in the beta, and Sledgehammer said, okay, no more weapon tuning. They took it out of Modern Warfare 3. It is no longer going to be in the game. It originally was going to be, but it's gone. Personally, I'm really happy about this change because I always found it annoying because I wasn't able to change a class within a pregame lobby or in the middle of a match because the weapon wouldn't be tuned if I swapped the attachments out or something. It was just really aggravating to me having to sit there and tune my guns. And also, personally, I usually write my class setups in the description of all my videos, and having to type out all the tuning was just really annoying, and I'm glad I don't do that anymore, okay? I'm sorry. I did it for you guys. I typed them out, but like I really am tired of typing out the weapon tuning for every attachment on every video, okay? As far as weapon goes, we have a full weapons list for Modern Warfare 3 that recently got released. Once again, I'll link the blog post in the description. But weapons, I think you should keep an eye out for Search and Destroy, things to think about leveling up off the rip. You have the MCW, which is the ACR assault rifle, and then you have the Striker SMG, which is the UMP45. We had those in the beta. Those were definitely the 2 dominant weapons. They are very good. Are they nerfed at launch? We'll see. Who knows? But I would definitely keep an eye on them because I would expect them to still be pretty solid and probably going to be my go-tos when the game first comes out. Now, as far as other weapons goes, we have the new aftermarket parts feature. Now, at launch, we get 6 aftermarket parts weapons, and then we're going to have weekly challenges at releasing more and more after parts weapons throughout the year. Now, which ones are good is the question. Well, the list of the 6 we get at launch, there's 2 that stand out to me as very good. First out, we have the Renetti from the beta with the SMG conversion that made it very, very, very good. By far the best secondary in the game. It was disgusting. And secondly, we have the WSP-9 SMG, aka the Uzi from Modern Warfare 19. And if you know me, you know how excited I am to say that. The Uzi is back. The OG MW19 Uzi, the high damage, slow fire rate, long range, damn near assault rifle Uzi is back. And it has an aftermarket part that gives it the ammo conversion like we had in Modern Warfare 19 that gave it the range that made it a disgusting meta weapon in Modern Warfare 19. The Uzi has an aftermarket part. I'll put a screenshot on the screen. That is a weapon I think we need to very much keep an eye on. moving on to the perks. I went through and checked out all the perks in Modern Warfare 3, or gear as they're called now, and there's a couple that stood out for me for Search and Destroy. First things first, you had the Infantry Vest, which is the vest that I used in the beta on pretty much every class the entire time. This is the vest you're going to want to run if you're going to be rushing. This vest is double time as a perk, but as a vest. So you can run double time through the vest and then run your covert sneakers as your boots. So that way you can not only be fast, but you can also have dead silence. That will be very helpful for rushing. Next up, you have the CCT Comms Vest, which is a very important vest when it comes to information. This could be very good in Search and Destroy. Now, I will say with this vest, you will not be allowed a lethal or tactical. So you will not be rushing with this vest. You won't have a stim. You won't have double time because you'll be running covert sneakers as your boots. But this vest comes with 2 pieces of gear, which the gear is by far the strongest perk slot in the game, and you get 2 with this comms vest. And also, this comms vest, this is straight from the blog post, it increases the duration enemies stay on radar and zooms out the radar for you and nearby allies. Enemies will also drop intel packs, and if you pick up that intel pack, it'll do a radar ping, much like a portable radar does, and let you know if there's enemies nearby you if you walk over that intel pack, which is very, very, very strong in Search and Destroy. Anything that gives you intel on where enemies are is going to be good, and comms vest is going to be something to keep an eye on if you get in one of those slow matches. If you need to play defense, the comms vest is probably going to be the go-to. Next up, you have the gloves. The first glove that caught my eye was the Assault Gloves. This is a glove you're going to be running if you're rushing like myself. And I also kind of wish this glove didn't exist because it's kind of stupid, but this glove makes it so that you can jump shot, basically. It makes it so you can jump shot. I mean, there's no better way to explain it. While jumping accuracy and time to ADS is improved. That is the description of the gloves. It is basically the quick draw perk from back in the day, but it only works for jumping specifically. In Modern Warfare 2, one of the big complaints is that when you jump shot, the ADS speed was slower. This glove basically fixes that from what I understand, and that's stupid. Why don't we just make the jump shot normal? But whatever, I guess, fine. Assault Gloves probably going to be using for rushing. Wish they didn't existed. We should just have normal jump shot, but that is a thing. Next glove that I think is really awesome, we're going to keep an eye on, is Marksman Gloves, which is reduced sway and flinch while ADS. It is basically the toughness perk from Black Ops 2, which if you played Black Ops 2, the toughness perk was the only perk you ever ran in the perk 2 slot if you played Search and Destroy. It was very good. Reducing flinch was very, very, very helpful. And I think with how long the kill time is in Modern Warfare 3, reducing flinch might separate you from someone else and might win you some gunfights. So keep an eye on that Marksman Glove perk. Give it a try. It could be very good. The flinch perks in history of Call of Duty have either kind of been really bad or really good. We'll have to wait and find out what Marksman Gloves are like, but that is one that could be very good for Search and Destroy. The last perk I'd like to talk about is actually one of the gear slots in Modern Warfare 3, and I'm actually really excited about this one because this might be an absolute go-to for rushing in Search and Destroy, and that is a gear called Data Jacker. Enemies you kill drop a smartphone. Collecting the smartphone generates a radar ping from that location. Now, that sounds familiar. That's because we just talked about the CCT Comms Vest. The CCT Comms Vest has that exact same thing coinciding with it. So don't run Data Jacker if you have the CCT Comms Vest on. They will just conflict with each other. But Data Jacker, if you've been playing this game for a long time like myself, might sound familiar for another reason, and that is because Data Jacker is the ping perk from Call of Duty Ghosts, which was one of the few things I liked about Call of Duty Ghosts, because rushing, it was very nice with the ping perk. You get a kill, you walk over the body, it gives you a little portable radar ping and lets you know if there's somebody nearby. Now, in recent Call of Duties, that might not sound that good since we haven't had red dots on the minimap, and we can hear footsteps so loud that you never really needed to look at your minimap to know where an enemy was because you could hear them so loudly. Well, covert sneakers make your footsteps completely silent, and most people are going to be running those in Search and Destroy, so it will be very easy to get caught off guard by somebody with dead silence when rushing in Search and Destroy. So this Data Jacker perk might be key for rush classes because it'll let you know if somebody's nearby you, because you will no longer be able to hear that person like you could in previous Call of Duties. Definitely recommend giving this one a try if you like to play aggressive like myself. All right, squad, that is it. That is everything you need to know before playing Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like on it for me. And if you're new to the channel, you like Search and Destroy, subscribe. That's all we post around here. Anyways, I will catch you all in the next one. Seek and Destroy. It's been Seeker.